Hello YouTube and welcome back to another Dare to Game video. Today we're playing Mount & Blade Bannerlord, specifically Realm of Thrones, the Game of Thrones Total Conversion mod, and we are going to be doing the top 10 best wives available in the game based on how good of a trader they are. So these are going to be wives that you want to lead a trade caravan for you, specifically being good at that. So the primary skills to focus on are trade, obviously, and tactics. And the reason I care about tactics is just because the higher the tactics skill for a trader, the more likely they are to survive battles and not just get captured immediately. So those are the two things that we consider there, and as a third thing to break ties and such, I also consider personal combat skills, just because it's also good if they can defend themselves in battle. So yes, those are the three things to focus on, and I tried to pick characters that are named characters from the story, A, because that's who most people who play a mod like this are going to want to marry, and B, because it also guarantees that they should be pretty much the same exact thing for every single playthrough no matter what. With all that in mind, the way that you find them is by going into your notes menu, and if you're playing on PC, you do that by pressing the N key, and then you click on the Heroes tab, and then you narrow it down. So if we're looking for wives, we do female. We're going to want them to be alive, which matters more late game, but it does make a difference. Then you can do culture right away, but here we're going to do Lord and Lady and not married because we're specifically looking for people that we can still marry. And then you can narrow it down from there, and since the first person on our list is from the Reach, that's who we're looking for. So at number 10 we have TALLA Tarly of the Tarly, and she takes our number 10 spot on this list. The stats I'll be using here will not always be the displayed stats because I gathered these stats at the very beginning of the game. So TALLA Tarly starts the game at age 22 with a charm level of 40, trade of 81, steward of 101, tactics of 60, leadership of 60, and her highest combat skill is 1. So unfortunately, she doesn't have a very high combat skill, but her trade is higher than most available wives in the game. Her tactics, again, follows that same thing. There's obviously people with a higher tactics, but they don't have a good high trade. And so she does come off the bat being a pretty good trader. And TALLA Tarly, just in case you don't recognize the name, is the sister of Sam Tarly, the guy who joins the Night's Watch and becomes a friend of Jon Snow. Her father is Randyll Tarly, and that's who you'll talk to marry her. And her brothers are Dickon and Fernhard. I don't recognize Fernhard, but Dickon Tarly, obviously, you should remember from the show and our books. So yes, TALLA Tarly is the 10th best wife according, or by how good of a trader she makes. Let's move on to number 9. Alright, at number 9 we have MEERA Reed, and she does start the game unmarried, but in this playthrough she has married a Bracken, so, keep that in mind, but she does start the game unmarried. And her stats at the beginning of the game are age of 18, charm level of 80, trade of 81, steward of 100, tactics of 100, leadership of 100, highest combat skill is 150, which you can see she has for one-handed, two-handed, and polearm. So she takes the number 9 spot for traders, again, because her trade skill is 81, and her tactics level is 100, and then obviously she's got nice high combat skill. So she does make a pretty good trade caravan leader right at the beginning of the game, and she obviously starts off nice and young. So if you also want to have kids, that's a great option there. Traits for her, we have impulsive and honest, and so honest is good, impulsive, could be good, could be bad, hard to say, depends on what you're using her for. But if you want to remember who she is from the story, she's the daughter of Howland Reed, and that falls through in the game. So if you want to try to marry her, that's who you're going to be talking to. She takes Bran beyond the wall in the story. So MEERA Reed, pretty dang good at a lot of things, but she takes the number 9 spot for the best trading wife. So that's number 9. All right, at number 8 we have one of the Sand Snakes, OBARA Sand, and she is the sister of NYMERIA Sand, TYENE Sand, the daughter of Oberyn Martell, and in this playthrough, the spouse of Tristan Ryger. Now, obviously, she starts off the game unmarried, and her stats at the beginning of the game are she is 27 years old, so a little bit on the older end, but still young enough to have kids. Charm skill of 80, trade of 81, steward of 100, tactics of 120, leadership of 120, and highest combat skill is 190, which she has in polearm, and then obviously her other combat skills are also quite good, nice and high across the board. So she does make an excellent trader, like I said, trade skill of 81, tactics of 120, and then nice high personal combat skills. So she's going to compete very well with the ones we've already showed, I think doing significantly better than either of them, which is why I placed her ahead of them. She, for traits, has calculating and cautious. So calculating can be pretty dang good for a lot of things, including being a trader. Cautious can also be good for being a trader because it'll help her avoid bandit parties and everything. And it's also a good thing for her to have a nice high scouting level as a trader, obviously. But yeah, OBARA Sand is pretty dang solid. Like I said, she's one of the Sand Snakes, so the daughter of Oberyn Martell. You should remember her from either story. And she takes the number 8 spot. At number 7, we have NYMERIA Sand. So yet another one of the Sand Snakes. And she starts off the game at age 24 with a charm skill of 60, trade of 81, Steward of 101, Tactics of 120, Leadership of 120. Her highest combat skill is 160, and that is Polearm. And she does, like I said, take the number 7 spot for the best trading wives that you can get in the game. Like I said, she's a Sand Snake, so one of the daughters of Oberyn Martell, sister to both TYENE and OBARA. She does start off quite young, which is good. Not the youngest of the Sand Snakes, but, you know, younger than OBARA. Traits for her, we have Honest and Daring, both good traits for a wife. Like I said, just makes a really solid trader. She starts off with good combat skills, good armor, and obviously excellent trade skills. So yeah, NYMERIA Sand is hard to beat, and if you're looking for a Dornish wife, she's a great one. So she takes the number 7 spot for the best traders. All right, at number 6 for our trading list, we have TYENE Sand, and I promise she'll be the last Sand Snake that we focus on today. And so she starts off the game at age 20 with a charm skill of 100, trade skill of 82, steward of 102, tactics of 0, leadership of 0, and her highest combat skill is 150, which you can see she has in 3 skills, one-handed, two-handed, and polearm. And of course, the rest of her skills are also pretty solid. So again, like I said, we're always primarily focusing for this list on trade and tactics. Her tactics is, you know, non-existent here, but her trade skill is 82, giving her the highest one so far, you know, just marginally. But her personal combat skills are also quite good, and she does start off with good armor, so all good stuff there. You can see she's married in this playthrough to Gren of the Night's Watch, which is, of course, interesting, and pregnant. But yeah, she does start off the game being unmarried. Her traits are impulsive, cruel, and close-fisted, which, you know, are not exactly the traits I look for in a wife, but like I said, she does do pretty well based on, you know, how old she is and the skills that she starts with. So yes, TYENE Sand, last of the Sand Snakes to talk about on this list, takes the number 6 spot. Let's move on to number 5. All right, at number 5, we have Daenerys Targaryen, and of course, if you are familiar with the story, either the books or the show, you definitely should know who Daenerys is. Like I said, she's from the Targaryen clan, culture is Valyrian, traits here are generous and calculating. She starts off the game at age 22 with a charm skill of 20, trade of 120, steward of 140, tactics of 160, leadership of 160, and a combat skill, or her highest combat skill, is 150, and you can see that we have that in one-handed, two-handed, and polearm, so nice balance there. Obviously a great choice. She's good at a lot of stuff. Pretty much everything in the game she'll rank decently high on as far as wives are concerned, because she's got good combat skills, she's got good leadership skills, she's got good stewardship skills, and for this list, she's a good trader. So yeah, she takes that high spot. Obviously, like I said, you should know who she is from the story. Mother of Dragons, whose main desire is to reclaim her father's throne in King's Landing. I shouldn't have to talk about her too much. So yeah, Daenerys Targaryen takes the number 5 spot. Then at number 4, we've got LYSA ARRYN, the crazy ex-wife of the dead leader of the Vale. So her culture is the Vale. Like I said, she is a little crazy, and so her traits are close-fisted and honest, so probably generous considering what we see of her in the books and the show. As for her stats, she starts the game at age 45, so too old to have children, but she does come with a daughter and a son. Her charm skill is 100, her trade is 121, steward is 141, tactics is 120, leadership is 120, and her highest combat skill is 120, which you can see is shared amongst one-handed, two-handed, and polearms, so pretty balanced, again, following a trait that we've seen with several other wives so far on this list. So yeah, like I said, she makes a pretty dang good option for a wife if you want one that is good at, I mean, she's good at lots of stuff, but for this list, specifically trade, because she has a trade skill of 121, which is nice and high, tactics of 120, and then decently high personal combat skills. Like I said, cons about her, she's already getting pretty old, so you can't have any more kids with her, but, you know, she does come with 2 children that'll become part of your clan if you marry her, so, you know, maybe that makes up for it. But yeah, LYSA ARRYN takes the number 4 spot for the best traders out of the wives available in the game. Alright, then at number 3, we've got MISSANDEI, and you'll remember her as the translator that Daenerys Targaryen purchased in Astapor when she bought her Unsullied in both the books and the show. Obviously, she plays a pretty big role in the story, so you probably recognize her. Traits for her, we've got honest and daring, so good traits there. As for her stats at the beginning of the game, she starts at age 24 with a charm skill of 120, trade of 122, steward of 141, tactics of 0, leadership of 0, and her highest combat skill is only level 1, so pretty bad there. So for her, it's going to primarily just come down to that level 122 trade for why she got this spot. Her tactics are non-existent, her personal combat skills are non-existent, so she can be good at lots of things. She makes a good trade caravan leader. You just got to hope that she's not running into combat too much because, you know, then you'll have problems. But yeah, like I said, she starts the game nice and young, good stats, great if you want to start a big family with her because she can obviously have children. So yeah, MISSANDEI takes the number 3 spot. At number 2, we've got the Lady Melisandre, the priestess of R'hllor and advisor to Stannis Baratheon. She has one trait, and that's honest, so that's a good trait. At the beginning of the game, she starts out at age 34, so a little bit older, but it is still possible to have children with her. A charm skill of 160, trait of 122, steward of 140, tactics of 140, leadership of 140, and her highest combat skill is 55, and that's in the bow. So again, she's good at quite a few things, but specifically for this list, pretty good at being a trader. She's got trade skill of 122, tactics of 140, and although her personal combat skills aren't ridiculously impressive, at least she has some. So yeah, Melisandre makes a good option. Like I said, if you want to have kids with her, if that's part of the goal of getting a wife in this game, which would make sense, then you got to do it right away because she can still have children, but she doesn't have many years. So yeah, if you want to have some with her, you have to start right away. But yeah, Melisandre takes the number 2 spot for the best trading wives. So let's finally move on to number 1. And at number 1, I reluctantly had to put Cersei Lannister, and I do not like this character. I hate her in the show, hate her in the books. She's by far the most irritating character with no redeeming qualities at all. But yeah, she does have nice high skills for some things in this mod. She takes the number 1 spot, like I said, and that mostly comes down to the fact that she's got good trade skills. So she starts the game at age 39 with a charm level of 160, trade of 142, steward of 161, tactics of 0, leadership of 0, and her highest combat skill is 1. So nothing impressive from a leadership or weapons ability. Trading wise, she's got it pretty good. So she's got the highest trade skill out of all the available weapons in the game, starting at level 142. Her charm is 160, which doesn't hurt, riding of 100, so she can at least ride a horse. Like I said, mostly just comes to that nice high trade skill. She is too old starting the game to have children with. I tried and I couldn't, no matter what I did, I couldn't get her to have any kids. So maybe that's hard-coded in, or maybe it's just an age thing. She does start off with sadistic and deceitful as her traits, so those are both really bad traits to have in a wife. Speaking from personal experience here, you don't want to do it. But she does start with 3 children. If you want Tom and Myrcella and Joffrey to be your children, you can marry her, and that's how you can make it happen. So like I said, Cersei Lannister, I personally hate her. I would never marry her, but she does take the number 1 spot for the best trading wives in this game based on the stats. So that is all 10 of them. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you found it useful, but in any case, thanks a ton for watching and have a nice day, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching another Dare to Game video. If you liked this video, please leave a like and a comment. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you like my content and would like to support this channel, consider becoming a member today for as little as $1.99 a month. It makes a huge difference. But in any case, thanks for watching and have a nice day. I'll see you next time.